Tonight, OSHA is investigating what caused a deadly explosion at a petroleum plant in unincorporated Lemont. The blast originated in an asphalt tank. CBS 2 has now learned the number of asphalt explosions are not being tracked, opening up a greater chance for these kinds of accidents to happen again and again. CBS 2's Chris Tye has been looking into this all day, and he's live for us in the newsroom now with more on what he found. Chris?
Joe, it's still unclear what happened exactly just before 9:30 yesterday morning at that refinery in unincorporated Lemont. And for those who study this industry, it's also unclear why this kind of accident isn't getting the attention it needs to prevent it from happening again.
There was this asphalt explosion in Tacoma, Washington in the fall of 2020, this one in Philly just months prior, this one in Oklahoma City a few months later, and now this one Tuesday morning in unincorporated Lemont in Chicago's southwest suburbs, costing one man his life. If the question is, are asphalt explosions happening more often? The hard truth is, we just don't know.
You can't fix what you don't measure, and it's not, the number of explosions isn't being measured.
Kirsten Ruslow is a chemical engineer and environmental consultant. She says none of the big agencies you might expect to track this kind of tragedy do so. Not the EPA, not OSHA, not even the U.S. Chemical Safety Board.
I've been bucking for this for a while. The regulatory community hasn't caught up to the fact that this has changed.
About 20 years ago, the process refineries used to make most asphalt changed. See those vapors released at the top of a tank like that one right there? The vapors are often flammable. The new process releases more flammable vapors than before. We don't yet know what caused Tuesday's petroleum explosion in unincorporated Lemont, but we do know that if that vapor comes into contact with sparks from, say, welding equipment, which is common at refineries.
If a spark happens to get into the vapor from the vapor that's escaping through that outlet, it will carry into the tank, and that's when the tank explodes.
An explosion that has cost 25-year-old Drew Worker of Homewood his life, while another Seneca Petroleum worker remains hospitalized. Lives lost, workplaces changed, as new calls for regulations inside refineries gets louder.
Regulators haven't caught up to the new formulations. This one, I think, is obvious.
OSHA is investigating yesterday's accident, but when we asked them, the EPA and the Chemical Safety Board, for comment on whether they are or might soon start tracking these kinds of accidents, we got no answer. We will continue to press for those answers. Live in the newsroom, Chris Tye, CBS 2 News. Joe.
Chris, thank you very much.